I can sing a rainbow. The volcano sees me. The lyrics write me. The coffee tastes me. The seeds bury me. Why study volcanoes? Because I hope to play guitar at the highest spot on Siesta one day. It doesn't have to be at the Obsidian Festival, and preferably at the top of a volcano. Volcano Sonatas. That's what I'm planning to call my first album. I can't wake the volcano up? Maybe I should call it Volcano Lullabies instead. Volcanoes sleep like a log, so I don't think you'll be able to wake it up that easily. Have you heard of this? A kind of stone you can find on a volcano? When the wind blows it away, it makes a sound like beans falling into a bowl. And if you soak it in the water, bubbles fizz like a complex drumline. Of course, it's real. If I find such a stone on a volcano, I'll bring it back to show it to you. The doctor's been here. How are you feeling today? An old man lies on the hospital bed, his head tilted sideways as he looks out the window. Not so bad. If you hadn't come here to specifically remind me that I'm stuck in bed this summer, and a hospital bed should be more comfortable than an office chair. Thanks for sparing the energy to tease me, but my butt hasn't known the touch of a chair for the past few days. Perhaps we should switch places. The old man turns to look at his grandson standing beside the bed. So, my boy, why have you come to see me today? There's a letter of intent for relocation that I hope you can sign. The city hall staffer whispers the words, as if admitting a mistake. A tired and bitter silence follows. Seems like this renovation plan is just so urgent that I can't even wait until I kick the bucket, huh? That's not it. I just thought you should know about it. Of course, I'd rather get your consent. If you want to convince me, you should have at least brought Tisha along to visit. She's at work right now. Everything you do is to make a living, right? I really don't get why a girl like that would marry a boring man like you. Let's just say I've inherited your talent for making girls happy. The hospital ward is quiet, except for the faint sound of fruit being peeled. Work must have been tough these last few days. I've been having nothing but bizarre dreams lately, but after thinking some, I figured why I haven't offended anyone. So my guess is that you've been chewed out by a whole lot of people. Clever old man, you know my job so well. Well, what's your take? Are you really willing to let this shopping street get demolished and see the last traces of old Siesta disappear? Costa, there's a guitar in the cabinet behind you. Take it out and play a song for me. No thanks. You know that won't work. The old man speaks no more and turns his head away toward the window. I know that Mockingbird Cafe has been in Siesta longer than the City Hall. Many of the shops on that street chose to stay when we moved to the volcano. But there are too many factors at play that make our life difficult. The volcano doesn't even make the list. Coffee and music can only keep people alive at certain times. If I hadn't lucked out and gotten this job at City Hall, your medical bills would be too big a burden on the family. I'm not complaining, it's just... Alright. Hand me a pen. You're such a brat, Costa. I hate that about you. Maybe I should have tossed you in the sea back when you were mixing your drip coffee with sparkling water. Thank you very much for not doing that. I do like that about you. You want to rent my hotel? And make a little modification to the hot springs? With your permission, of course. Price is negotiable. I'm not interested in money. It's all the same. Not a shred of beauty. Well, money isn't the only bargaining chip. I definitely have something here that you'll be interested in. Like this, for example. This photo. Is that a piece of exhibit-grade obsidian? So how about renting these few hot spring hotels of yours to me for a few days? And I'll move this piece of obsidian over. Don't play around with me. This from some private museum's precious collection. How could you... Wait. You? Uh-huh. You'll keep your word? Words hold no proof. So let's sign a contract, shall we? Oh, she's dirty. Snowsant, can you do some research to check if my plan is feasible? It's probably doable. Good, that means it is. I'll trust your judgment. No. I'm not certain. I'll need some tools and materials and a lot of time. Gai Yao. I'll move on to the next step. Since we've decided to focus on making the residents of the street welcome our redevelopment, we'll have to make sure it's perfect. We can't waste this chance. With all the tourists drawn in by Bison's ads for his trade fair. No, not here. Data model for volcanic eruptions is definitely not in the files Professor Magna left for Adele. But why does Keller have this notebook with her? Good work today. Cup of coffee? No thanks. I'm not a coffee person. Is Adele here today? Today isn't a work day. So what are you doing here? Do you need these old documents for your work over at City Hall? Keller? Why on terra did you invite Adele here? I believe I made it quite clear before. The research in this museum is related to the Normans, and the imminent eruption of Siesta's volcano is a rare observation opportunity. Adele is your child, and also an excellent volcanologist. So it is only right I extended an invitation to her. Only now? After so many years with zero contact? You didn't attend the Norman's funeral after the incident at Mount Luna. You vanished without a trace from the academic circles, and stopped your teaching work at the school a year ago. So what have you been up to these last few years? What are you running from? As you can see, the only thing I've done these past few years is organize all the volcanic research materials that now sit in this very museum. Con, everyone has their limits. I no longer have any energy to do volcano field work. I'm preparing to retire after the museum is finished, and I've observed Mount Siesta's eruption. What? Retire? Why would you even consider retirement at all? The Normans left all their unpublished research data to you and Adele. Enough to make your mark on the academic world. And yet now you're saying you want to retire? Or could it be that you've already placed a price tag on that data behind closed doors and gained something even better in exchange? Con, I don't know what you're... Professor Keller, are you in here? Keller, whatever your plans, I hope you'll consider the Normans before making any decisions. Adele is their only child, and the only hope they've left behind. She's already contracted neuropathy, and her condition isn't the best either. I just hope she can be happy and free. Professor Keller? I'm in here, Adele. Come in. Professor Keller, I found the exhibit, and I already put it back in the display cabinet. Alright. Good work. Professor, what's wrong? Nothing much. Where did you find the exhibit? It was a Beck beast that sneaked into the museum. How strange. Alright, if there's nothing else, you can... Professor Keller, there's something else I wanted to mention. I met a shopkeeper on the street, and he asked me to return this book to you. A shopkeeper in the commercial street? Bang! I can taste the fatigue in the air. So painfully bitter and sickeningly sour. Just who is it coming from? Mr. Dolly, you scared me. Why are you here? I just saw a beautiful streak of blue across the city. Want to go to a hot spring? Mr. Dolly, I still have some research to do. No. Research, such a bitter word. It makes you all wrinkly. The volcano is right there. And the material won't disappear either. So you can always come back to continue research anytime, but... Dolly lightly tips his toes and spins in midair. It looks to be a somewhat comical dance. Some things are so fleeting that you'll never get a second chance to see if you miss it. For example... I, finally found you. Let's go. Want to visit the hot springs together? Hot springs? I don't have the ability to control people's hearts, by the way. But what? Didn't I bring a swimsuit? That's fine, I have some over here. Besides us two, Snowstorm would be there too. We'll also call Ceylon in a bit. I even bought some of the latest facial cream. They say there's volcanic ash inside. Plus, I have an important thing to ask of you, and you're the only one who can do it. Is this the latest record player on the Colombian market? I didn't think I would be able to see one in Siesta. I've been paying close attention. They only started selling these just a few days ago. But these are the leftover stock. You already missed the first wave. You don't notice? But there was a super long line here this morning. The limited editions with Emperor's signatures even come with a copy of his latest album. And that sold out forever ago. Emperor's latest album? Isn't that dropping next week? Is this what they call an early access batch? Who could even pull this off? It's not just Emperor's album either. There's also signed copies of Miss Sora's album, a Casimir's Radiant Knight helmet model replica, and Cherney's Claver's collection. Clavier? Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this word. Wait, what's this? Huh? Think I'd find one of our Sargonian Krabby Pumpies here. But what use does it even have here in Siesta? Who cares? It's cute and that's what all that matters. Did you miss it? The line of people queuing up to buy them? Whoa, they even got dates here. Dates? Excuse me, Mr. Sargonian. Bird casually strums a Sargon-style ditty. Can you tell me a story of plucking dates in a hot and dry breeze? These are instruments imported from Lithanian. And I have to say, those Lithanians sure are stellar at any music-related stuff. You can try it if you like. And if you don't know how to play one, I can teach you a little too. The piece I just played, I performed it when me and my wife confessed our feelings to each other. If you fancy learning it, I have a sheet here that you can have. The best snacks around here, you ask? See that bearded old man on the left? His ice cream is the best. Slowly now, take it easy. Strawberry for you, orange for you. Here's his coffee and what else? Coconut with chocolate? Ow! No need to rush, we have plenty here. Mister, give me a tea-flavored one. Sure, coming right up. Thank you. I'll send this to Schwartz, too. It'll make her drool. Dr. Ceylon, you here for the trade fair, too? Stop by for a stroll since I happen to have some time today. Enos, you're a good lad. Thanks again for fixing up the cash register this morning. Things would have been so hectic otherwise. It's nothing, just helping out is all. How's business? So good I almost thought I was back in the old siesta. Why haven't I seen that Costa fellow anywhere today? He spent the whole day running all over the place for this. And now that everything is in motion, that man is nowhere to be found. Maybe there's other work to do at the city hall today. Ah, rascal. Doesn't even know how to ditch work. Boss, give me a cone. Coming. Feel free to come try our cocktails over at the White Volcano too. You brat. Enos leans against the soda fountain, watching the surrounding people come and go. Did you see my little siblings earlier? It's their first time in such a bustling place. They kept clamoring for some volcano coffee or something on our way here. But as soon as I handed them the pocket money, they were gone in a flash. No, I don't think I've spotted any kids here. Little runts aren't here. If you want to find them, you have to go over to the East Street. They say there's a new amusement park over there or something. My own brat even told me over breakfast that he'd help look after the store. I haven't heard from him ever since he learned about the place. An amusement park? The power of money, baby. Can I open my eyes now, Miss Swire? Also, what was the important thing you were mentioning earlier? Did some of those secretly mined obsidian appear in this hotel too? Or did you need a nominal volcanologist for your work? Or neither? No volcanoes here, and no data either. Only a comforting hot spring. So now you just have to get into some pretty clothes and then... Alright, you can open your eyes now. Wow, there's so many tourists. What happened here? Wasn't it just a hot spring before? It's so lively. Just like Siesta a few years back. A few tourists erupt into cheering, and Adele recovers from her surprise. There's so many kayaks and water installations here. Miss Swire, are these your... Yep. This is the water park I'm setting up for the commercial district. Wow. Did you do all of this by yourself? Not by myself, of course. I provided the plans, but we have our chief genius engineer from Lungman to thank for making this a reality. Snowsant. Miss Swire, that title is a bit too much. Really now? Yan's #1, Terra's #1 genius engineer. Wait, Snowsant, don't run around like that. Be careful. Oh, it's flying. How did you do that? How are all these surf kayaks actually flying straight from one hot spring channel to the other? Actually, it's not as complicated as it looks. We just needed to add a pneumatic ejection device on the waterways. So once the kayak reaches the spot, it'll trigger a mechanism and then it'll... Yay, I can fly! Mama! There aren't any guardrails on the waterways, so I'm a little worried about... I redesigned the kayaks according to Swire's plan and become equipped with a comprehensive emergency cushioning system. It's also the second way you can play with these, as bumper kayaks. They can freely collide on the waterways, and the cushioning system will absorb all the impact force, using it to power the kayak's water guns that spray water forward. I didn't mention it to the tourists, but many seem to have already mastered the secret. Look over there. Ah! A long whistle shriek, a kayak spins in the waterway, seemingly about to fall off the channel. The airbags at the kayak's edge quickly inflate, wrapping up the passengers, but as the kayak drops, its trajectory is suddenly interrupted, as if there is a transparent barrier in the air. Water splashes onto the ground, the completely wrapped kayak sways, and falls downward. Hey, you alright? Anyone hurt? I'll go take a look first. Just wait here a second. Tourists surround the fallen kayak, but there is only giggling bubbling from the center. With a puff of the bulging air cushions, two children emerge from within. It's all your fault for moving around so much. We didn't catch the little lamb, and our siesta adventure is ruined. Nuh-uh. It's not my fault the lamb ran so fast. Lamb? I don't see them here either. It must be tiring taking care of your younger siblings, yes? Children of that age love to play around and make so much noise. Thanks for the concern, but it's fine this way too. They're having fun at least. You have a lot to worry about as an older brother. Now that I think back on some past incidents, I think a friend might feel the same sometimes. Do you have an older sibling, Dr. Ceylon? I've never heard... It's your fault. All your fault. Hey, you brats. Where did you run off to? Enos. It's Enos. We sat on a big air cushion boat and chased a fluffy little lamb. What are you talking about? What lamb? A fluffy little lamb that lifted our boat up with his head to play with it like a ball. When we catch it, we're going to make it sit in our boat. Enos, over there. The lamb is back. Where? Look up. Wait, these are surfboards. Why are they flying in the sky? Surfboards and swim rings. They use the hot spring steam to leap into the air, jumping over Fashion Street and into the sky, beyond the tourist's view. Everyone's eyes are glued to the objects swirling around as if living creatures. And Adele sees something slightly different than the others. The surfboards cruising across the sky have sheep standing on them. They don't seem content with just racing their waterways. Hot water, vapor, colorful surfboards, and swim rings. The sheep sweep them all up, and together, they pour into the hustle and bustle of Fashion Street. This is bad. Dolly said he would teach them a lesson. Was he lying to me? Oh no, there's splashing hot spring water everywhere. Snowsaunt, did you design a flying surfboard behind my back because I rejected your idea for an observation wheel suspended above the hot spring? No? Didn't you arrange this, Miss Swire? No, it wasn't me either. The two look at each other and then hesitantly turn their gaze towards Adele, who has been standing to the side the whole time. Adele? You... What? No, it's not me either. Odd. Could it be Bison then? Yoo-hoo! Fluffy little lamb, fluffy little lamb. The lamb is flying. I'll go look. Whoa. Aya, Snowsaunt. The surfboards are really flying. Whatever. Let's get on those things. Who's in charge here? Quick. Someone's to mass produce these surfboards. Woohoo! Mr. Dolly. This is the hot spring you were talking about. Dolly really just causing problems all day, every day. I aspire to be him. Why are you still here? I'm gonna be scuttling around here like a four-legged metal crab on the beach until I can get all your signatures. Fine, scuttle on then. I'm packing up, going home and having a drink. Be my guest. I bought this new gadget at the market today. This original microwave massager or something or other. Colombian thing. Can't make sense of it, but it works wonders. Feels like real relief sticking it on my back. It's not bad trying something new. Was that shaggy Beck beast riding a surfboard on the roof one of your funnies do? Shaggy Beck beast? No, that's not. Shame about that. I liked it. Entertainment that good has been rare ever since we lost the Obsidian Festival. I'm glad it made you happy. Right. Got something for you here. Kalimba? Did you pick this up from the same market? Congrats on the marriage, Sonny. You got a safe job for your family. A boring one, but you've got a sense of responsibility. I can understand you like stability. But life's full of ways. Don't live out the hound day, son. Each day lived is a hound day. You just have to roll with the punches. I used to gamble with your grandpa, if you'll remember. You said you'd always come back from Obsidian with the grand prize one day. Honestly, what a waste of all that musical talent. If you're interested, I can still bring my guitar out sometime. Play it for you again. If you'd play us a number on that thing sooner, your letter might have been the first to have my signature on it. Thanks. Mrs. Harley, we've recovered the surfboards that went missing here. Can you check if that's all of them? I'm so sorry about this. You helped me here. What are you apologizing for? I didn't think those old things would ever get used again. It's funny. Just who would have taken them? Oh, well, I'm not too sure either. That's alright, girl. It could just be some tourists that picked them up. Or they're having too much fun. No harm, no foul. How are you? Did you have fun today? You mean getting drenched in hot spring water? Didn't it bring back a little bit of that seaside fun? It hasn't been so lively in forever. Even the customers here to drink were all smiles. These owners are always frowning day in, day out. Even the drink was starting to taste bad. Harley looks towards the tourists outside, who still haven't scattered. Sunset gradually dyes the sky. Every single person's feeling merry. It's like we've gone back years and years. A man listlessly heads for the old cafe and pushes its door open once again. He feels for the light switch. Carefully, he uses a rag to wipe dust from the counter, then pulls the equipment out from the cupboards before pulling a pouch out of his chest pocket. Fresh coffee beans, brought back from the office. Like so many years ago, he boils, he grinds, then, attentively, he pours. Flavor is... I guess I've gotten rusty. He looks out the window. One after another, people make their way home while it's still dusk. The street grows gradually more desolate, until there's no one out at all. Only then does he chuckle to himself, bitterly. Seriously? What the hell am I waiting for? He finishes his coffee and prepares to tidy everything away and get out of here. A knock comes from the door. Costa remembers he never even shut it. Who is it? Good evening. Are you still open? Mr. Dolly, you promise you've made it clear to the little black sheep not to cause trouble like this anymore? Yep. Any more mess and I'll disavow them as my clones. Tumbles about in the air. Headbutts walls in the street. Mr. Dolly. Fine, I'll try as hard as I can. Attempts to walk calmly. See? Much better. But they still caused plenty of chaos at the trade fair today. But the air was so full of the smell of joy. You mean, it's sugary sweet even now. It's just like the first time I took a walk across the countries you talk about. Where there's hilly areas, you can glide. Where there's watery areas, you can surf. I even had a couple of bastard annoying animals chasing me all over the wilds. Every place produces something different. Knowing how your human race can't just tour the whole place. Getting to see such interesting things must be novel for you, right? Why do I get the sense you're showing off, Mr. Dolly? Busted! Did you have fun today then, Adele? Hot springs let you relax? Skateboarding's a thrill? And that loud-ass penguin's loud-ass music got you pumped up, didn't it? Mr. Dolly, those children could see the lambs. Oh, how is it this hard to cheer you up? There's that brooding flavor in the air again. Bitter and tart. Adele turns away to hide a little giggle, then recovers her straight face. Mr. Dolly, we're here. I need to leave the owner a note saying we found the exhibit, and thank you for worrying about us. I have the pen and paper in my bag. Oh, is this cafe open again? Dim yellow lights perfuse the interior. Through the windows, the cafe furnishings can vaguely be made out. Costa pours hot water, the sound breaking the silence between him and his customer. Condensation fills the windows. Adele gently wipes the hot springs white mist from the glass and finally catches a proper glimpse of that customer. What do we stop for? Are we going in for coffee? Professor Keller? I'm just saying, teachers aren't allowed to have social lives outside of school, so... I got the Atlas of Terra's volcanoes. I never thought you'd have kept it safe for so many years. Thank you. I asked the little lady. She came here looking for some exhibit. It just happened to be the volcano museums. Is, she your employee? Adele is my student. Your student. Right. You've been quite the miserable worker at City Hall lately. Gathering the signatures for a LOI to relocate the residents. My parents left their own clothing shop. Reasonably speaking, I should need to sign too. Do you have any objections to the redevelopment then? Our family stopped leaning on this place for our livelihood long ago. If it would make your work go any smoother. Of course, and thank you for your cooperation. Want another cup? Can that come with the old complimentary chat then? As a qualified barista, listening is part of my work. Take a seat then. Maybe we should go, Mr. Dolly. Today doesn't seem like the right one to leave a message. Oh, but the coffee smells so good. Can't we have some? Prepares to charge headlong into the cafe. Hey! The closed glass door blocks the lamb strike, and it hardly makes a loud sound as she expected. It simply turns tail and shoots back into the street, where it tumbles around. Adele nervously observes how the two inside react. Why did you up and leave when you did? I met two very interesting people. When you study volcanoes, you're always visiting new places. I remember. You met each other in here a lot. And if they came, you plug your guitar in and off you went with your heavy metal racket. Magno always felt that boy at the cafe and never seemed to welcome them too much. I was just a little too willful of a brat back then. It wasn't meant at them specifically. I know, and they didn't take it to heart. You gave them coffee soda to try once and made us swear to secrecy that we wouldn't tell Grandpa Mockingbird. He couldn't stand the drinks I came up with. Every time I added them to the menu, he'd wipe them off. They were just as bizarre to him as my axe. And my drum kit. By the way, that wasn't your average coffee soda. It was called volcanic coffee. Alright, yes, volcanic coffee. It was a nice drink in any case. After we went to Lithuania, Katya would follow your recipe to recreate the flavor for himself. How are Katya and Magna doing? I remember when you left Siesta, you said you'd be visiting every volcano across the land with them. I spent a long, long time with them on our travels. But a few years ago, we strayed apart. Strayed? Yes. And we're never to meet again. Was it? I'm so sorry. Hence why I came back, opened that museum. Hoped I could preserve all the research they'd done. When I saw you at the museum that day, it completely, totally blindsided me. It was a great surprise to me too. You're nothing like the noisy little child I remember. You too. You're a museum curator and everything. I suppose I've turned an old idea or two into reality. No matter what though, the conviction that keeps me going now isn't really what drove me in the first place anymore. Still, change isn't always a bad thing, wouldn't you say? The two lapse into silence for a while. The customer lightly stirs at the coffee in her cup. Did you go to the trade fair today? The trade fair? I did. Tourists were profuse. Proprietors were in high spirits. Much like the siesta of old. Maybe once this place is all rebuilt and the tourist influx comes, I'll have an idea or two about what's next for me. For example? Who knows? I'll probably keep running a cafe. But maybe a rock and roll cafe. Or just a music shop filled to the walls with drum kits and guitars. Lots to try. Always someone out there who'll enjoy it. Just like you say. Just like the siesta of old. Oh, something very funny happened happened today too. I was at a trade fair and I saw this soft drink from Colombia. The recipe was 1-for-1 with my volcanic coffee. The exact same. Well, I didn't leak your secret recipe. No, it was a year ago when I was planning to shutter the shop. I told somebody else how to make it. But honestly, it's just coffee plus soda water. Of course, some Colombian could have come up with it on their own too. Hand-brewed coffee and soda water. How did you come up with it at first? When I was young, I thought coffee was so bitter. I was convinced I had to add something to make it drinkable. You shook the whole cafe playing your rock and roll. And yet you were bad with bitter? Who cared about something like that back then? Keller laughs, downing the last gulp of coffee in her cup. The aroma lingers lazily in the cafe air. So, want soda in this cup too? Sure. But after this one, I may genuinely spend the whole night awake. Adele, let me just be upfront. I told them what I told them, but a lot of them are dying to go inside. Probably the tasting of volcanic coffee. To make up for the owner's losses, I can leave a product from today's trade fair in exchange. A product from the fair? Where'd you get it? A lovely little child gave me it. Honest. We can't go in now. Sniffs in corner. Turns over a box. The restless lambs drag a case of glass bottles out from the junk to Adele's side and zealously churn through it for something. Eventually, they get a few bottles of carbonated waters clamped in their mouths and pull off the metal caps, acting like they found treasure. What are you doing? Didn't you want to get a soda? The lambs bounce about, each one with a shiny bottle cap on their head. Then they line up together and playfully scamper away. I said to wait. What makes them even more impatient than me? What was all that? Oh, that's just a seed thereafter. What about those bottle caps? Makes them seeds. The world as they see it isn't quite the world you all see. This itty bitty little round thing gets taken by foul beasts to places far, far away, where it takes roots and sprouts and becomes something completely unlike before. Some become soda caps, some become sauce lids. Each one has a different flavor, but they all have their own charms. I assume at least one of them drank that sort of volcanic coffee in Colombia before. So this rings that bell in them particularly loud. Isn't it more than fascinating to view the world that way? Digs at the soil. But all that granted, just because you planted the bottle caps doesn't mean they're going to grow into drinks. Let them have their fun. The answers will grow by themselves. Hello? Costa here. Mr. Costa, this is your grandfather's clinician. I'm sorry to tell you this, but your grandfather passed away this evening. I can't know if this will be any comfort to you, but I want you to know he left us peacefully. Oh, that's rough, buddy. Damn, they really ended off on that after the... That's depressing.